Well, good afternoon, everyone. Craig again, back with you out on the 2018 Honda Goldwing, out enjoying a wonderful, beautiful day. We've had a string of them here, and I'm enjoying it. So once again, get out on the bike and just enjoy these days. I want to get as many of them in as I can, because when you live in the Northeast, before you know it, the leaves will be coming, and the snow will be coming, and anytime you want to look at your bike or think about riding your bike, you just got to go in the garage and sit on it. That's the only thing you're going to be able to do. So while I can take advantage of it, I do want to take advantage of it. So a topic of discussion that came to mind is really amongst the Honda Goldwing owners. And the question I have is, can't we all just get along? And the reason I say that is, I don't know if there's anything more polarizing amongst Honda Goldwing owners as the 2018/2019 Honda Goldwing. I mean, when it gets right down to it, you know, if you have a Goldwing, it is a phenomenal bike. I don't really care what year you have, what iteration of the Goldwing you have. All the Goldwings are great bikes. You know, they're just, if you buy a Goldwing, you're not getting a lemon. You know, it's not like you're going to be riding your Goldwing down the road and bolts are going to be falling off, and your exhaust is going to fall off, and your handlebars are going to fall off. They're well-made bikes. But for a long time, and I don't have the, forgive me, I don't have the years exact, but I think it was maybe, what, 2001, 2002 to 2017, for like roughly 15, 16 years, the Honda Goldwing, the GL 1800, was virtually the same bike, the same body style. There were some upgrades and improvements year after year, as a few model years apart. But if you looked at say a 2000, and maybe it was 2012, I'm not sure, it might not have been 2002, but you guys will correct me on that. But let's go with 2012. Say from 2012 to 2017, you really couldn't tell the difference between one Honda Goldwing between the 2012 and the 2017. They all looked the same. So when Honda decided that they were going to redesign the Goldwing for the 2018 model year, I think it met with a lot of expectations. Of what the bike should look like, what the bike should be, what people wanted in the bike. And what I have noticed is, if you are a previous generation owner, if you had a 2017 or newer, or older bike, and when they came out with the new bike, it seems like you weren't as impressed, or you didn't think that it was a well-designed bike, and it seems like you are very quick to point out the flaws of the bike. It's not good stopped on the interstate. Really quick to point out the flaws and what the bike should have been. Now, if you were like me and you didn't own a previous generation 2018 or previous generation Goldwing, and you were looking at the 2018, I thought the bike was sharp. I thought 2018 was a sharp looking bike. And I had a previous video where I kind of talked about why I picked the 2018 Goldwing over the Harley Davidson Road Glide. And what I'll try to do is I'll try to link it in the video right here. So if you look up, you should see that link. If you don't see the link, then I don't know. I didn't figure out how to do it because I've never done that before. So if I can figure it out, there'll be a link on the screen right now to that video. If I can't, just go back and look in the other videos about the 2000, my comparison and why I picked the Honda Goldwing over the Harley Davidson. So make sure everybody is okay here. Let's see if someone's sitting on the side of the road. That's not good. I guess they're just contemplating. So one of the reasons, though, without going into my whole video in total, one of the reasons was I like the new styling of the 2018 Goldwing over the previous versions, and that sold it for me. Had the 2018 Goldwing been the same body style and had no differences than the 2017 and previous models, I probably would have went with the Harley Davidson. So I guess Harley Davidson did the right thing, and I was their target audience when they said, hey, we're going to change the look of this bike. We're going to make it more streamlined. They were looking, at me as the type of person they wanted to get, and it worked because I went out and I bought the 2018 Goldwing. But if you were a previous owner, seems like you weren't as happy. So now when you look on the forums, there's a lot of discussion, and I know it's nothing serious. It's nothing. No one gets mad, but it's the previous generation owners are just, first thing they point out, 2018, 2019 Goldwing. Oh, there's no storage. You can't store anything on that bike. You can't put a thumbtack on that bike. You can't put it. It's got room for nothing. I try to put my gloves somewhere, and there's just no storage for my gloves. I can't put anything anywhere on that bike. And granted, there is less storage. I think that is a given. No one's going to argue. The saddlebags are smaller. The trunk is smaller. Everything is smaller. It doesn't have the same storage as the previous generation. So you cannot pack, if you had an older Goldwing and you're used to packing some items on when you go on a trip, you cannot pack as much as what you once packed if you switch over to the 2018 Goldwing. Now, for me, since I never had a previous generation, Goldwing, the 2018 is fine. I'm okay with the storage. I'm okay with that. I can't fit 2 extra large helmets in the trunk. I just put them on. I've got a lid lock, or I just, put them somewhere else on the bike. Cable them to the bike. I'm okay that I can't fit them both in the trunk. But the reason I'm okay with that is because I look at what I see as the pluses of the 2018 Goldwing over the previous model. And here's, I guess, the controversial statement that I'll make. There is no doubt in my mind, and I think anyone else's mind objectively, that the 2018-2019 Honda Goldwing is a better bike than the 2017 and the previous models. Just no doubt that it is a better bike. Honda did a great job in making it a better bike. So why do I say it's better? Because Honda was able to incorporate some things in the 2018-2019 Goldwing that Goldwing riders and owners have been asking for years. For example, the 2018 Goldwing has an adjustable windscreen. For years, Goldwing owners have been saying they don't like the fixed windscreen. They want an adjustable windscreen. They accomplished that in the 2018 Goldwing. The 2018 Goldwing also is leaps and bounds ahead in technology. There's Bluetooth connectivity built into the 2018 Honda Goldwing that you would have to add extra device to the previous years. If you are like me and you have an iPhone, Apple CarPlay is built into the 2018-2019 Honda Goldwing. I mean, just the fact that you have the adjustable windscreen, you have Apple CarPlay, you have Bluetooth technology built in already. If you ask someone like me, would you be willing to trade your extra storage for those advancements in technology? I would say absolutely. Make it a little bit less storage and give me Apple CarPlay. Make it a little less storage and give me an adjustable windscreen. Make it a little less storage and give me, with the wishbone steering, a better, to me, a better ride, a better suspension than the previous generation Honda Goldwing. Are you willing to give up storage for that? Absolutely, I'm willing to give up storage for that. And really, when it comes down to it, the only thing that you can say that was better on the previous generations are the storage and the fact that I think you have 1 more gallon of gas. 6.5 gallon tank, I think, versus 5.5 gallon tank. To me, that is not that big of an inconvenience that I'm willing to give up all the other niceties and amenities that you have in this bike. This bike is 100 pounds lighter. It's more nimble than the previous generation's Goldwings. And I don't care what you say. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, I'm not saying that the previous generation was not a good handling bike. But if you can take off 100 pounds, I mean, really think about it. Who wants additional weight on a touring motorcycle? I mean, I know you want a touring motorcycle, and you don't want to be thrown around in the wind, and you're not being thrown around in the wind on this bike. But I've never heard anyone say, boy, I wish that 1,000-pound Goldwing, really, if they could add another 200 pounds and make it 1,200 pounds, that's really where it's at. You don't hear anybody saying that. You don't hear anybody saying, let's add weight to these Goldwings. You hear everyone saying, you know, as I get older, if it was a little bit lighter, you know, I could ride a little bit more. Well, that's what Honda did. They made the bike a little bit lighter. So now if you lose a gallon of gas and a little bit of storage for them to make it more aerodynamic and make the bike lighter, I think it's worth it. And then you're getting the same gas mileage per se. When I say same gas mileage, I think the newer Goldwing, you get about, on the highway, maybe about 45 miles a gallon, you know, somewhere to 42, 45 miles a gallon, which what I'm told from the previous generation, that's what you were getting. Okay, so they dropped you down a gallon, but your gas mileage, your miles per gallon you're getting is either better or it remained the same. I just don't see where the complaints are. But let me finish out this video by saying this. This is what I really think the crux of the matter is, and the root cause of this. To me, the root cause is Goldwings, no matter, I don't care what model you bought, what year you bought, if you bought it 2001, 2002, if you bought it brand new, you paid a lot of money for a Goldwing. Goldwings are not cheap bikes. And every Goldwing, I guess gets on a side point. Okay, we're gonna make this video longer. If it gets on a side note, every Goldwing you get, you're gonna have to make some modifications. That's another complaint I hear about the 2018 Goldwing. Well, you get it and the seat's horrible. Oh, you get it and this is not right. Oh, it's too much buffeting on you. You got to add wind deflectors. You get this. Name a Goldwing that you didn't have to add a bunch of stuff to. Go ahead, name one, because I'll wait. Every Goldwing out of the crate needs modifications to it. There is no Goldwing that's been made by Honda that they put together at the dealership out of the crate and everyone said, this is perfect. Don't need to change one thing. Seat's perfect, windshield's perfect, handlebars perfect, everything's perfect the way I want it. That doesn't happen. Every model of the Goldwing, there's modifications to it. If you have a 2017, 2016, 2015, let me name some of the things that you might have done to your bike. You might have had your seat modified. You might have gone with a totally different seat. You might have gone with Ultimate seat. You might have gone with Mustang. You might have gone with a Corbin seat. Chances are, though, if you've got a Goldwing, chances are you probably changed your seat. Why? Because Honda doesn't make the most comfortable seats on the Goldwing. Chances are, if you have an earlier generation Goldwing, you've done some suspension work. Why? Because the suspension's not that great out the box, out the crate. So you've probably done some suspension work. Chances are, if you had a previous generation Goldwing, you've changed the windscreen in some way. Maybe made it taller, made you put a vent in it, did something to make the windscreen, made it wider, you know, got a wider windscreen. Chances are you did that. Chances are, if you have a previous generation Goldwing, you did something to the handlebars to make it a little more comfortable as you're touring. You added some handlebar risers. You did something like that to modify it. All these things. Maybe you just added lighting. You want to be more visible. The Honda Goldwing doesn't come with the adequate lighting that I want, so I want to make the bike more visible. Maybe you added a CB. You just wanted to, maybe, you know, you thought, I don't know, you thought you were the bandit and Smokey was after you and you got to stay in contact with truckers. I don't know what it is. I don't see the need for a CB in this day and era, but in age, maybe back in the day. But let's say you added a CB to it. Anyway, you did modifications to the Honda Goldwing to tailor make it to you, to make it the way that you wanted it to be. It's no different than the 2018 model. I hear the previous generation owners complain, well, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this. Well, you had to do the same things with your bike. So when I get a 2018, yeah, I want to change up the windscreen or the windshield. The windshield's not the way what I would like it. I want a wider windshield, so I'm going to change it. Yeah, I'm going to change up the seat because it's not most comfortable seat. Yeah, I'm going to add some lighting to it. Yeah, I'm going to add some highway pegs to it. The same things that you guys were doing to your previous generation Goldwings, we're doing to our Goldwings, because once again, they are not perfect out of the box. And you want to customize it and make it the way that you want it to be. So when it gets right down to it, for my thinking, the reason that people complain so much about the new generation Goldwing, or they say I'm not going to get it, really is a money issue. And the money, when I say it's a money issue, I'm not saying it in a negative way. You've invested a lot of money into your 2015 Honda Goldwing. It cost you a lot. Then you added all your modifications. And now when they come out with a new 2018, are you going to get it? No. Why would you get it? Because you've invested all of this money into your Honda, into your Goldwing. By the cost of the Goldwing, let's say, I'll use a ballpark figure, let's say you pay $25,000 for your Goldwing. You probably, most Goldwing owners, again, I have no stats, so I'm making this up, but I'm going to guess. Most Goldwing owners probably put $5,000 of accessories, changes, whatever it is, into their bikes. So you got $30,000 invested in a bike that might be 5, 4, 5, 6 years old. Are you just going to get rid of that bike and switch over to, you know, a 2018? No, because you got too much invested in it. I think that's what it really boils down to. I don't think that it's a situation where the 2018/2019 Goldwing, get my Easy Pass up here, hopefully it works. Perfect. I don't think it's a situation where the 2018/2019 Honda Goldwing is a horrible bike. What I think it is a situation where you've got a lot of money invested in your bike and you're just not going to make the switch. But it is easier to say, well, this Goldwing doesn't have what I want. Yes, it does. And I didn't even bring up the DCT. For those of you that are like, I don't like this Goldwing, it's this dual clutch transmission, you know, I'm old traditionalist, banging gears, and that's the way bikes are meant to be ridden. I tell you what, if you feel that way, all I say is try this bike. Try the DCT model and see if it doesn't change your mind. I am a big believer. I like you know, slamming gears and doing that, manual transmission. That's why, you know, I've elected to keep another bike that I can do that in. But I tell you what, this DCT is nice. And the reason why I say that you really got to try it to effectively say whether you really like it or not, because if you poll, there's a deer, hey Bambi, if you poll some of the people that have switched to the DCT and you ask them how many people switched to the DCT and they absolutely hated it and they're going back, they switched out their DCT Goldwing and they're going to a manual transmission Goldwing, I would bet that number is minimal. Absolutely minimal. This is a phenomenal bike, a phenomenal transmission, shifts when you want it to shift. So when it gets right down to it, we need to get along in the Goldwing community. I know it's a joke, we do get along. But I understand if you have a previous generation Goldwing, that is a great bike. You got a lot of money into it. It does have, you know, superior storage. I understand all that. But I would just say, for those of you that have those previous generations and you're looking at the newer generation and you don't think that it's a capable touring bike, you are dead wrong. It is a phenomenal bike. And when it gets right down to it, I say that a lot, when it gets right down to it, in the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years anyway, everybody will have this version of the bike. Everybody's going to have it. At some point, you're gonna get rid of your 2002 Goldwing, and you're going to get a newer body style. And then there'll be some adaptations, modifications, larger saddlebags, larger trunks. As you know, as things go on, there'll always be modifications to make it, to customize it the way you want. So it really is, to me, a moot point, because 5 years from now, 7 years from now, 8 years from now, everybody's going to have this version. Because I do believe Honda's going to do the same thing. I don't see them coming out with the 2018 body style and changing that up in 2020 or 2021. I see them going like they did before, a good 7, 8, 9 years of the same body style before they change it. So eventually everyone's going to have this bike. So if you don't like this bike anyway, yeah, don't worry about it. You're going to have it in about 5 years, you know, once you decide to trade yours in. So anyway, that's my little rant. Again, get out on your bike, whether you got a Harley, whether you got a Goldwing, whether you got a Suzuki, whether you got a Kawasaki. Just get out and enjoy the ride. And have a great day, everyone.